He's not coming to challenge Ederson. He's not here to make headlines. But the moment he walked through the Etihad tunnel, the room shifted. People noticed. City's dressing room, flooded with stars and silverware, suddenly had a new presence. Quiet, measured, experienced. Marcus Bettinelli, a goalkeeper known more for his steadiness off the pitch than spectacular saves on it, had signed a one-year deal to become Manchester City's new third-choice keeper. This isn't just another transfer. It's a snapshot of a veteran redefining his role, stepping behind the bright spotlight to support greatness, possibly for the last chapter of his playing career. A player whose last Premier League start was nearly 8 years ago now, finding his place alongside the game's elite. The narrative here isn't about making grand gestures. It's about legacy, mentorship, adaptation, and the hidden architecture of a world-class club. From the moment City's sporting director announced the signing, people leaned in. Not because Bettinelli is an outfielder, but because of what he represents. Resilience, humility, adaptability, and an insight into how elite squads are built beyond the stars we know. Playing as Chelsea's third-choice keeper for 2 seasons, barely stepping onto the pitch, yet building a reputation as a bridge between generations. Your voice in the locker room, your calm behind the scenes, your readiness at a moment's notice. Bettinelli did exactly that. He earned the PFA Community Champion Award. He quietly served his teammates. He kept himself ready with just 1 league start in 4 years, against Chesterfield in January 2022. Not spectacular on paper, but vital in tone. When Chelsea offered him a new contract in 2023, it spoke volumes. They valued more than what he did for 90 minutes. They valued who he was inside the club. They offered him top-up roles because they needed him. He stayed, grateful to be needed, even when he wasn't needed on the pitch. But now City called. Guardiola's City, a relentless, demanding environment, high expectations hovering over every player, every position. They needed a third-choice goalkeeper to replace Scott Carson, a veteran who'd amassed 2 Champions League medals and resigned quietly last month. City needed structure. They found it in Bettinelli. He arrives at age 33, towering at 6 feet 4 inches, built like a wall. His presence on the training pitch will matter, supporting Ederson, Lambert, Ortega, even the juniors. He'll march out daily, save shots in drills, peppered with Pep's obsession over details, while lending his voice to a locker room of international stars. And here's what he brings: the memory of over 100 matches with Fulham, the lessons from cameo appearances in the Premier League, the experience of being part of Chelsea's training grounds, stories about mentality, preparedness, coping with waiting. These stories now become City's stories. His mentality becomes a lesson in itself. How to stay ready for anything: a collision, a mistake, an injury, even just a routine practice. It's an honor to sign for City. I have admired from afar what this club has achieved, excited to be part of building on that success. These aren't the words of a man chasing fame or glory. He's spoken like someone stepping into a machine, ready to help it run smoother. City's summer spree is well documented. Ait Nouri from Wolves to fix that left-back gap. Reinders, an Italian of the Year, bringing creativity. Cherky, perhaps the spark playmaker who might fill De Bruyne's void. But among those flashy signings, Bettinelli is the simplest player on paper. Yet he may impact the spine, the goalkeeper room, the training environment, the emotional balance of a squad navigating a reset after a rare trophyless campaign. The bigger picture: City spent over £115 million in this mini window. Bettinelli arrived on a free transfer. No fee, no fanfare. He's here to add value in ways that rarely appear on stats sheets. It's the club's first day at training camp in the U.S. for the Club World Cup. Field filled with 32 professionals, minutes lost mixing with schedules and rest. Among them, Bettinelli, arriving early, organizing his gloves, nodding to newer faces. Cherky, Ait Nouri, Reinders, welcoming them as more than just teammates, understanding the fragility of squad harmony. Pep spots him, walks over. Bounce of acknowledgement. The new assistant coaches, Reinders and French, drop by too. They all know what they're gaining: a professional whose presence reassures analysts, editors, staff, and kids who look into the keeper's couch for clues about how to behave. On the video wall, they run training drills. Bettinelli stands behind concrete, Ederson performing reflex saves, Ortega diving for corner kicks. Bettinelli is mascotted between them, tracking cross-pattern punches, reinforcing rhythms invisibly. He isn't shouting, but kids later replay his positioning in drills, absorb his habits, movement, patience, readiness. These subtle lessons seed enhanced structure. On pitch days during friendlies, he doesn't save. Maybe he watches. He notes. He feeds Pep a quieter side of the team's work. Someone asks about youth keepers. He's calibration for them. Technique, approach, eyes on ball, mind present. Every club has big ambitions. City's is global dominance. That's not built in bombs of cash and big signings alone. It's built on layering experience, on having people like Bettinelli who know what being second fiddle feels like, who know what waiting feels like. On days of travel, 2 charters, same destination. Bettinelli sits on the second flight with the invites, not the stars, but with those whose roles anchor the group. He meets stadium staff. He smiles. He asks about local culture. His kindness bleeds into the group. By evening, when the world is focused on the big names, Bettinelli facilitates calm. By morning, when Gotham City skies feel like competition, he's doing the same drills as first-teamers. City fans noticed, not statistically yet, but off-pitch stories, junior keeper quotes, social media snippets about his professionalism, subtle praise from Ederson. "Great lad, ideal presence," said one post. "City needed glue. They found it, without paying a fee Walter cried for." This isn't hype, it's culture. And there's more to it. He's working on his coaching badges alongside the Arsenal staff member behind Joe Hart's rising star. He's studying Pep's methodology. He's giving back first hints as assistant goalkeeping coach in training. When his contract expires, maybe a younger assistant steps in. City paid for succession. He's not here to play. Maybe not. But even if he never steps onto the pitch before Ederson's name is called, he is already winning. Let's zoom out. In football, players chase careers, trophies, legacy, lore. Bettinelli has lived that chase, even if mostly behind the scenes. Now he's anchoring another chapter, a mentor in a trophy-laden environment, learning a system unmatched in coaching brilliance, handing off a lantern when time tells him to. He becomes a vector, tapping into City's ideology, adaptable, dedicated, invisible at times, but vital. It's tempting to label this a low-key story, but there's nuance. Look at City's summer. 4 signings alone totaling over £115 million. Bettinelli comes as a free transfer. Yet moments of greatness are crafted in the unseen corners, in training ground ethic, in off-pitch leadership, in positional knowledge, in steady presence. His contract lasts until June 2026. After that, might he remain at the Etihad as a staff member, a coach, maybe even a backup? His entire narrative shifts, from player to heirloom keeper, a transmitter of City culture. Here's the curiosity. Will he play? Maybe not. But at City, everything matters. When Ederson needs rest, he may strike from bench, or in domestic cups, or during a minor emergency. One game, even 5 minutes, could change everything. Imagine it. Victor's Wembley Cup. Bettinelli between posts, clean sheet, saves a penalty, makes headlines not for brilliance but goodwill. Maybe he says, "My moment was being here." That moment, it'll be replayed by kids who saw him as a glue yet felt the glory when he stood tall for City. That's emotional arc. Not about him taking center stage full-time, but about being a stitch in a tapestry, unwavering when no one's watching. From a cub roaring at Fulham beginnings, to bench riding at Chelsea, to mentor status veteran, to Manchester City's seasoned third choice, Bettinelli's journey is a study in humility and aspiration. From pitching himself as a team builder, not just a shot stopper, from being overshadowed to silently illuminating greatness. A reminder that football isn't just about the superstars. It's about those ready for moments they may never get. It's about presences that shape greatness off camera. City gets that. They signed him not to flash trophies, but to floor the foundation. And in a year where City are rebuilding midfield, defense, staff, and hopes, Marcus Bettinelli might just be the calm every title chase needs. His journey at the Etihad begins, not with headlines, but with steady, intentional steps, footwork in goal, mentorship in talks, culture passed on quietly. That's club football, bigger than goals, deeper than player count, more powerful than single-match brilliance. And in that quiet strength, Marcus Bettinelli brings more than experience. He brings character. City fans, Samba watchers, youth academy hopefuls, keep your eyes open. Sometimes the unsung become indispensable,